Good morning. It is a very beautiful Saturday morning today, and yes, it is the 23rd of March. The month is already rounding down, and soon we'll definitely be clicking the next month, which would be April. And it's been a lot of things happening in Nigeria in this month. Yesterday there was a sad situation that happened in the campus of National State University, Kefi, a really sad situation that definitely would definitely, talk about in due course. But yeah, it seems to be, a very hot morning from last night to this morning. The weather has been, hot, and for a moment we thought we've passed through, gone past this heat wave, but it seems it's still here, and it's really sad. We hope that, of course, God have mercy on us, and get us to a bit of chilly situation. Yes, I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
And I'm Fatima Ahmed Musa. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, Sumaya, the weather is actually, I think the right word is humid, kind of, because it's a bit hazy. I don't know, it's a mixture of a whole lot of things, because you could feel some breeze blowing from here.
But then the hot breeze.
It's a whole lot of mixture, because I actually still, inhaled certain, and I'm kind of feeling it. So I think at this point it's for everyone to be safe, because you're going to have cough or kata, anyone, so yeah.
Just wear the nose mask. That's the most important.
Please, it's not COVID era that you asked me to
wear
nose mask. For what?
You just said you're inhaling something.
So should I now just wear? No. Please, I want to breathe well. I remember that period. It wasn't funny at all, because you're always wearing face masks, and you just be looking at everyone like you're just practically ninjas by fire.
At the end of the day, we're just lucky that we're past that wave, and
yes,
we hope, of course, that would also pass this, heat wave happening. But then, yes, today there's 2 hours of interestingness. We all know that here we open the phone line. Trust TV is that station where we definitely give you a platform to air your views and opinions, and of course to weigh in on whatever you're saying, and then the federal government or state government or whoever that opinion reaches, for them to take it or leave it and use it. But then it's an opportunity to relate with our viewers. So if, of course, we'll open the phone line today, and of course we will bring you entertainment stories if time permits. There's been a lot happening that's been trending on social media, and we also have an entrepreneur joining us to talk about the act of business. Now majority of young Nigerians are entrepreneurs. So due to the popular saying of the former president Muhammadu Buhari that said Nigerian youths are lazy, they are not lazy anymore. They are wide awake, right?
Yes, they are actually wide awake. That's the right word to use, because everyone is kind of, trying to find one business or the other to indulge in, so you don't just stay idle, not doing anything, or depending on a particular income. So yeah, I think
now
everyone is on their feet. I love the fact that everyone is not waiting for the government to do something, like they are always saying, because when I'm passing and I see 3 to 4 people, I know that they may be insulting the government. I just can't help it.
It's possible. No,
it's actually funny that you could actually be there and you can just imagine what they will be saying.
Honestly,
so it's just funny.
It's not, you can't blame people because of the economy, and even with the business owners, these people are suffering. Businesses are being affected because of the hardship, in the economy, the exchange rate, the fuel subsidy, transportation has increased, everything is affected. But then, to the good side, the money, the value of Naira is now rising up. A dollar is about, I think from yesterday, 1,300.
Yes, 1,314 thereabout. Yeah.
Yes, that's a progress, and we've seen people involved in importing also.
So just like we said, whenever dollar is crashing, we expect to see commodities, prices of goods in the markets dropping. But then I just hope now that the dollar is crashing and Naira is taking charge, right? And I just hope everything is going to be a bit easier for people to be able to afford.
Though not immediately, because people already imagine
they feel it's going to go up again.
No, they already bought things at
that price,
so they have to gain back. So they'll have to sell it until their next purchase. But anyways, all of this, of course, we will get to talk on this 2 hour show. But before then, we'll take a look at the front page of the National Daily. So do not go anywhere. Stick with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us right now on Daybreak Extra, coming to you live, of course, from our studio here in the nation's capital. And this is the newspaper segment, so we're going to take a look at the front pages of the national dailies. But as usual, I have the Daily Trust newspaper here with me. So the major story here says 5 years after commissioning of multi-billion naira Barrow port remains dormant. Why facility is yet to take off. You'll get the details of that. And all eyes on Tinubu. Indeed, you'll find that as major story on page 5 and 6. And I mean, one of the things that, Nigerians keep complaining about is how much we put, into a project, and then that project would just, along the way, would stop. When new administration takes over, there is no continuation of that project, and it would be a lot of money wasted. And before you know it, you'd see situations where people start stealing parts of the infrastructures in that place, and before you know it, we're about 10 steps backwards. So it's really disheartening. I mean, 5 years after this project got to a point of commissioning, but then it was, abandoned 5 years after. Imagine the money that was poured into it. And we know how project like this, can take when it comes to financing.
And the annoying part is the fact that, they have given a breakdown, or should I say, demands for the funds that they're going to, use to build or construct this port, Barrow port. And then where's the money? Why is it abandoned? Because if you if you've gotten all the money that you need to complete it, why is it halfway?
Exactly.
So that's a question to be asked.
Something
at the end
is
of the day.
Definitely wrong, and it's not looking good for Nigeria, honestly. I mean, people are still pushing for other projects, that has been abandoned to be taken seriously. That way we will not be where we are now. At least we would have something generating money for us. So it's really, a sad situation. And the fact that all eyes are on the president is actually true.
The people responsible should be accountable. They should be accountable.
This is where it all boils down to accountability.
Yes, it is really important. We always push for that. We always talk about it, which is very, very important, to clear your name so you don't look like a thief, to Nigerians, because these are things that it's supposed to help Nigerians, and if they're always left halfway.
If you happen to be alleged thief, then please pay off the money. Pay off the money.
Yeah.
All right, moving on from that, below that we see the Niger opens a border. Okay, no, the Niger State opens border with no, that's Niger. Niger opens border with Nigeria. I get mistaken because I know I saw it somewhere and it was, I thought it was connected to Niger or something. Okay, so Niger opens border with Nigeria. You find that on page 4. I mean, one of our reviewer here spoke about it when we said it seems Nigeria pushing back because they felt a kind of let down.
Yeah, at the time that they felt they needed. And
but then the reviewer said,
it was
at
necessary.
the end of the day, no, he said at the end of the day, Niger will benefit more from the open border. So if they don't accept it, then it's going to hurt them.
Yeah,
exactly. So it seems they decided to do, put
but then,
the pride
at that
aside.
point, there was a need for the president, or should I say the ECOWAS, to make that decision that they made at that time.
That's the ECOWAS.
Yeah, the sanctioning and everything. So,
yeah. But experts were a bit scared that it might affect
the relationship
between Nigeria and Niger, because it just seemed like the ECOWAS were using Nigeria to, hurt Niger. And we all know, Fatima is partly from Niger. So
wow. Really? Why did you have to say that?
Moving on from that, we have the federal government arraigns Miyati Allah leader Botlejo over terrorism. So now there is an allegation there. You find that on page 4 because low-key, we've known of this. He was arraigned. He's been in the custody, I think, of the DSS for a while. and the situation has been, a bit hush-hush. There's been a lot of things happening. It was due to, this state policing thing, taking charge of situations. And I knew of the fact that, according to the Bodejo, that he had a conversation, an agreement with the governor of Nasarawa State, Isuli, and then they made a point agreeing that he was going to recruit. I mean, he's the leader of Fulani, So he already, there is this, we know the allegations of saying Fulanis are the people making this act, this perpetration of, kidnappings and all that. So he said, okay, if there is anybody that would know who these people are, it should be the Fulani. So he gathered about young youth in order to form a vigilante group. So that was where this
that was with Nasarawa. I think it was early this year that we talked about it,
and the video was shown publicly. So, but then because of that, the federal government had to go deep on it, and they started making their own inquiries. But before then, when you want to go deep into investigation, you have to hold this person.
Yes.
So that was what has been going on with Miyati Allah. So finally now, when it's been said, he's been arraigned for terrorism. Now their laying allegations would have to wait and see how that situation unfolds. You find that on page 4. I mean, if there is anyone, doing something like terrorism financing, we saw how the
people funding.
Yes, the bureau, they charged people also that were caught saying that they were financing it. If at all, that allegation comes out and they are not clear of it, then they need to pay for it. I mean, it is not funny. We've
at this
lost
time,
a lot of lives.
at this time it's kind of annoying that a lot of things is just going bad for the country. Even though, like I always say, it's not just Nigeria, it's all over, but then we just feel because we are in the country, in this country,
it's not looking safe.
Yes, it's not looking safe. But then people outside would feel we are even safer than other countries. But then it's not. We know we are not safe.
The people of Gaza.
We know we are not safe because it's our own people, it's our own loved ones that are doing this. Because one way or the other, they have families, and they may have lost families as well in the act of all this terrorism. So I just hope they get to understand and the right people situation.
To be yes, and we hope in the course of the investigation, innocent people don't fall prey to it, and then of course the people that are really perpetrating this act, are held accountable. All right, moving on from that, still on the issues of insecurity, it says 18 abducted Sokoto and Gaya students regain freedom. That's amazing. That's a great news in all of this. You'd find that on page 4 of the Daily Trust. And now, beside that, there is a pictorial of what happened in Nasarawa State that I hinted at the start of the show, where it says palliative. Yes, 2 Nasarawa varsity students die in stampede. I saw the bodies of these people and I am heartbroken. I know that, we journalists sometimes need to get hard proof, but it was grossy and I felt that there was no respect for these people's body. It shouldn't have gotten to a point where we need to take them. They were in their most vulnerable state. But it's really sad, Fatima. The point that I for one, I'm one of the people that blamed the coordination of the whole thing.
Certainly.
I blamed the government, I blamed the school, but I also blamed the student. Because if there is one thing that we need to put is that when we are blaming this person, we should
look at what we are doing to contribute to the
we are so used to not being organized that we jeopardize the whole thing. The governor was supposed to honor this whole thing. He said he was going to come there himself and hand over these bags to the students. And according to calculation, it was alleged that, of course, that bag of rice would have reached about 90% of the students. So if they had been patient to wait for the governor to come there, exactly. But then they took charge, fought back securities, left. You see one person carrying 5 bags of rice. That's how greedy, and unorganized.
Well, in as much as what happened is sad, and like you said, the organization is poor. But then a hungry man is an angry man at the end of the day.
But you were not expecting the money.
Exactly,
though.
I know. Nigerians are hungry and they are angry. So I could understand, but then there was no need, like you said.
There was no
they
need.
Should have been coordinated. They know that it will reach. You are not the only one that is there. And they are trying to help out other students like you they should have been coordinated. And that's you are students. You don't need to be told to be coordinated.
Exactly.
You know, that's why you're in school.
That's why you're in school. It just needed a bit of patience to wait for the governor to be there. I mean, what best gift for you to meet your governor personally handing out over food for you? It's really a sad situation. But and then where I blamed the school and the government was the fact that there could have been a better way to make all of this happen. I mean,
you could make a list.
Exactly. No, easily. The school has the list. Easily, let's say you take mass comm 100 level students, and then you say, okay, coordinator of the 100 level student of mass comm. Here is, the numbers. Let's get how many numbers we have. If it's 120, we'll say, okay, about 10 people should share a bag of rice. 10 people. That way, it would reach everybody. So
it depends on the number of students that they're reading.
Depends on the number. Or you can say 5 people per bag. But then definitely that is where I fault the government and of course the school authority. There are lots of ways that this could have happened in order to avoid all of that. And for the other student, if I were you, I would have run from that. I don't go into crowd because there was so much mashing, pressing, and then people lost their breath and all of that.
It depends on how large
the crowd was. Of course,
so
we hope that we don't get a repeat of that, and our heart goes to the family of these 2 ladies that lost their life. A really sad situation. I can't even imagine what the school authorities are going through. All right, below the headmask there we have encounter, meet identical twins and professors married same day, lecture at the same university. Okay, that's a very good story that you find on page 10. Now, these are some of the stories that you would find on the Daily Trust.
All right, so let's quickly take a look at the Punch. Saturday this morning, the major story there says Tinubu may announce new minimum wage on Workers' Day. Committee targets is for president to make announcement on May 1st, says member. Labour spoils for war with governments, insists states have money from subsidy removal. You can find all that story on page 4. Now, below the major story, people underrate my talent. Female barber who cuts customers' hair with knife. Now, that's interesting.
Of course, they would underrate your talent. I'm not letting you get near my head with a knife.
Actually backing, it seems like she's backing a baby while she's doing that. But then, I've actually seen a couple of videos of people cutting hair with knives. How it depends on how sharp it is, and they are hitting it with something. And it's actually, it depends on how.
She's a barber. She's a barber.
She must be.
I'm not taking.
She must be very coordinated for her to be.
I will take you, Fatima, to get your
I wouldn't mind actually. So, but you don't need
Nobody
to
is going to make me an example of.
So yeah, you can find that story on page 11 on the Punch newspaper. Uncensored, Mohbad's mother opens up on late son, ex-husband Naira Marley. You can find that story on page 17. Belighted by rising food price, Lagosians find succor in discount markets. You can find that story on page 21.
Who doesn't want discount, right? It's like purchasing things from thrift shop,
Why did you have to even say that? Because you know that we have a thrift conversation coming up.
No.
Find a way to
it's just exactly how it is.
I love the fact that the Mohbad story keeps coming up one way or the other. Almost every week something is coming up. Someone is saying something. At least I know and I believe that there will come a time justice is going to definitely be served, for this innocent soul that left so quickly. So yeah, you can find that story on page 17. Why governors no longer sign death warrants. You can find Ogun, Rivers. You can find that story on page 3. Now, above the belt, U.S. issues red alert as gunmen kill 40 in Moscow. You can find that story on page 10. Now, Sumaya, you can see that I actually saw a story this morning. Yes, it's actually here. You can see the killings. It's not just Nigeria, like I said. There's always,
something is happening in Russia that I really want to, get. We all know after the election of Putin, there was a threat of World War III between the US.
You just gave a name for something right
now.
When you just said something is happening in Russia.
Happening in
Russia. Just give me an idea right now. But
this whole thing seems political. We all know how already the US and the UK are so against Russian government. and what is happening in Russia, while the Russian government is saying no, it's all about my people. I mean, we saw the BRICS even come together to create their own currency in order to surpass the UK and the US. So something is happening, but it's so sad that this whole thing happening is affecting civilians in the country. Yes, 40 people been killed. It's really a sad news. We hope that something is done about that.
Yes. Okay, so you can find that story on page 10. Follow Otis step, scrap ex-governors, deputies pension, Obasanjo tells government. Now this man is just always trying to.
Is he not taking his? I thought former president also gets theirs.
Well, exactly.
So, or has his been stopped? Because I know you'll be giving something. Exactly.
So, if he's suggesting that, I think anyway, just take the Punch and go through that story and see why he said so. You can find that story on page 10.
Do you know why at some point, Fatima, I bit agree with him? It's because of most of these ex-governors and deputies are still in politics. They finish and then they come back to the Senate or of the House or some place,
or they get
ministry appointments
or ambassadors and what have you.
So it's like you're getting double pay. So something is definitely wrong with that. So I agree with him.
Go through the Punch, page 10, and go through that story. Reign of terror: 2 monarchs, 28 others killed in Niger, 7 in Benue. You can find that story on page 8. Now, that's what I was talking about. The killings keeps, happening day by day. There is no day that, killings haven't been reported on every platform. And that is really sad.
The Niger situation was horrible when they entered the market.
Yes, it is actually sad.
Attack people. Really sad one.
Sad one. And our hearts, definitely goes out to the families of these people. It's a miracle I survived prostate surgery at 82. Ebenezer Obi.
We help you with the testimony, sir. It's a miracle indeed.
Definitely it is.
It should be celebrated.
You can find that story on page 18 of the Punch, and that's it for the Punch this morning.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the Guardian newspaper this morning. Major story says cost of governance, stop paying pensions to past governors and deputies. That's according to former President Obasanjo. You find that on page 3. The federal government and SIA signed about 38 billion naira pact for procurement of cancer treatment equipment. You find that on page 3. Ijaw youth fault former minister on Okwama killings. Okay, now investigation is getting somewhere, on who is to blame for what happened. But then even if you want to fault, the former minister, he wasn't the one that came to kill these people. It's still the youth that are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow. Somebody, please get those people. We are scared of having them in our society. Dismembering a human being, not to talk of more of someone who sacrifices leaving his own family to protect you, is not okay. And definitely there should be no cornerstone, to that. Somebody needs to pay for that. We have economic hardship, outrage as 2 Nasarawa Varsity students die in stampede over palliatives. I mean, the outrage, I know, is towards the government, but we also need to blame the student as well. Tinubu is creating pathways for businesses to flourish. That's according to Information Minister, with the federal government making plans for grants for small and medium business.
We could see him
owners.
actually, trying to, he's a businessman.
Yes.
So
I know that for that.
Yes, I know that if he's he's a philanthropist. So I know he's going to, try. I won't say he's going to do everything, but then I know he's going to try to see that business and Nigeria gets started, to kind of get the opportunities that it deserves. So kudos to him, because he's actually trying and he can't do it alone, so he needs that support from us and other people as well.
Indeed. All right, below there we have World Water Day. Federal government, UN development partners vow to address challenges. World Water Day. I don't think Nigeria should be celebrating it though.
Why shouldn't they?
World Water Day, Fatih. When last did you see tap water? If it's not from houses that have borehole, what are we saying?
Yeah, so it's the borehole water that comes
No,
from to the tap.
that is why it's not. There is
Well,
nothing to
actually,
celebrate. Honestly,
it's actually been long. I don't think there's water on the tap on its own right now at this
there
point.
is none.
Because it's borehole everywhere.
Yes,
Everywhere
and it's
you
not.
go
It's
is
not.
borehole.
It's not making sense. It's
Because
not.
Nigerians got scared, not scared, got tired,
Of
and everyone
waiting for the
decided
government
to,
to do
just
it.
find a way to get water. And the next easiest way to do, even though it's not easy, because you have to, make it, build it, get the machine that will pump the water, and all the the reservoirs and what have you.
It's really a sad situation. Honestly, I don't see ourselves celebrating world water, but then of course we would hold the government on their promise,
for clean
saying
water and some
yes. I mean, the UN are coming in to say we're going to help out.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I will look for clean water to celebrate.
But at the end of the day, Fatima, the fact that honestly this humanitarian help and all that shouldn't even come to Nigeria. Nigeria is the biggest African economy. We should have passed this stage of having water. Basic amenities is what we ask for. Okay. Water is one of the basic amenities.
Well, corruption has taken over the economy.
Okay, and the president is fighting back, saying corruption is fighting back. We'll have to wait and see how we need
to see the battle between corruption.
No, we don't. We want corruption to just collapse.
So it's a battle. It's definitely going to be a battle. So definitely one has
but to. But it makes it entertaining as though it's like a boxing ring of Anthony Joshua.
Because it's something that it's like corruption has built a shield for itself in Nigeria. It's like it has built a huge wall that it's going to take a whole lot of. A lot of people that are trying to patch this leakage, and another one is opening.
Sure.
So
I definitely agree with what Fatima said on that one, honestly.
So as much as you think I'm making it fun, what else can I do? The situation is beyond anybody's
And it's really heartbreaking, the fact that the president seems to be the major person that wants to really fight it. There's always a problem when you don't have when you don't have people that want
support.
To support you. Would have
the same mindset and wants the same thing as you. That's when it's going to be easy for you to fight certain things. When you have a group of people that you want to work with, and that's why they always choose, their ministers, their senators, their members, cabinet. Their own cabinet members. So. Yeah, all right. Let's wait and see what happens.
Yes, hoping for the best. Below the headmaster, we have how breast ironing endangers lives of the girls. Okay. I think most people, way back, parents way back used to do things like that, taking something, a hot steam and putting it and then shaking it, making it go back because they didn't want the children to develop a breast at the earliest stage. So that's what it's called breast ironing. Look at the pictorial there.
Yeah, I know.
It's just the mentality of our people way back.
Being with my grandmother before she passed, I could actually try to remember. I've seen certain things happen like that. Even though I was young, but then I can remember things like this.
They had an ideology about how you should grow
Sumaya,
with.
I've always wondered who actually even taught them these things in the first place.
Well, they would have to go back to history. I'm sure Pastor would do a documentary on that one.
Already. But you'll be surprised to know that there are certain things our forefathers or our ancestors have done that has actually worked. That maybe now, if we try to emulate same thing, it could actually work for certain things. Some certain herbs, certain things that
of course. But there is also
like that. But then there's a
one.
side effect.
The endangers. If you want to hear the endangers, because I would not be surprised if there are still people practicing this. So you'd find out. Yes, you'd find that on page 24 and 25. On the Guardian Woman page, it says any woman aiming for professional and personal excellence must develop authenticity and resilience. Indeed. Just make something new and then people would definitely follow. It might not be easy, but it would work out eventually. These are some of the stories that you'll find on the Guardian this Saturday.
Okay, quickly on the Vanguard Saturday, Okwama Massacre, the untold story, the fears, the posers. You can find that story on page 10. Killing Fields, 6,931 people killed under Tinubu in 10 months.
That's a lot of pressure.
That's a lot.
A lot of pressure on the president. I don't envy him at all.
Certainly, but then he's not doing the killing. Yes, it's under his regime. I understand that. You can find that story on page 13. I don't know why Sumaya is laughing, but then that's just the truth. Below the major story, 3 university students die in stampede over rice distribution. You can find that story.
So please don't scare us more.
Everyone is going to, they're
don't
going
scare
to always
us more.
have that.
We saw a lot being injured. Yes.
There's always going to be that.
Yeah, figure imbalance.
Yes. So
until everything is detailed, we hope we don't get more. Anyways.
So find that story on page 7. FG fresh borrowings drive up Nigerians' public debt to 97.3 trillion. You can find that story on page 4.
I'm not paying any debt because I'm tired of having.
But you are working and you are paying it. Tony Elumilo unveils 1,104 beneficiaries of his 2024 program on his birthday. You can find that story on page 6. Now that's a good one. Someone doing something, trying to give back, to the community or to the society. Now that's a good one. So and then the Mieti Allah story. You can find that story on page 8. Well,
3 counts charges.
Yes, you can go through that story. I don't know, but the Vanguard has found a way of just capturing with the person's name.
Yeah,
so if you want
curious.
to know more,
and Doyin has always been known for controversy. So
that's the only way you make it when you become a celebrity.
She says, I am a reality TV star
on my
material.
Own. Yes. So go through the Vanguard, page 24. Now that's it for the Vanguard this morning, and with this we have come to the end of the newspaper review. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, it's time for the phone line discussions. So stay with us.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us on Daybreak. And it's time to open the phone line, of course, to hear from you. So today we'll be talking about the state policing, that the federal government has, which has passed about the second bill, in the National Assembly, and we're waiting to see how it unfolds. So yes, we'll be talking about it about your support for the state police. So 16 of Nigeria's 36 states have submitted their report on the proposed establishment of the state police. Now, this comes weeks after the federal and state governments on February 16, 2024 resolved to develop the modalities to create the state police to tackle the country's insecurity or security crisis. The nation has been under the waves of abductions, attacks by suspected bandits and other violent crimes, reviving calls for the establishment of a multi-level policing system, including the state police. The vice president's spokesperson had affirmed that the total number will be presented at the next NEC meeting, so you have to wait to see how that unfolds as well, even as the compilation is still going on. On February 20th, 2024, a bill proposing the creation of the state police successfully passed the second reading at the House of Representatives. So now it's looking that way. There's been a lot of experts calling out, giving their own experts' opinions, saying since one thing is for sure, that the security agencies don't have enough hands on deck also, so they need the help of the states also creating their own police, and this would definitely help curb that situation. That's according to experts and some security experts and also the government. But then yes, some government has been on board with it. Others are still waiting, and the federal government is waiting on the other states to reaffirm their own commitment. So we'll have to wait and see how that happens. Right, Fatima, what is your take on the state police? Let's start in-house.
You want my voice to disappear again? I thought you were just going to do the analysis. It was actually fun watching you.
No, I want to
hear
looks
from like you're going to be a senator or a reps one day, and you're just going to, do I
want that kind of pressure, though? Fatima.
So don't you think you can give back to your society by
course
becoming...
I want to. Okay.
Yeah,
Perhaps people need some good guys. So yeah.
So yeah, I just, we've always talked about the state policing, and that's why we know we're talking about the Mieti Allah, initiating that in Nasarawa initially, a couple of months ago, like I said. And the good thing is it's been on the news for people to know that, there is a consideration for state policing to be, implemented sooner or later. So it's good to see that 16 state governments or governors are actually on board. I want the remaining states to also jump on it, because for the safety of your citizens. So yeah, we have the first caller. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Your name and location, please.
Hello, my name is Usman Mohammed, and I'm calling from Turu in Bauchi.
Okay, Usman from Bauchi.
My contribution concerning the issue of state police, I think if it will lead to peace within our society, it's a welcome development.
Usman, can you speak a bit louder? We just need to hear you.
Yeah. What I'm saying is that if the state police will give the common man peace in his presence, that is the stoppage, that to find an end to this banditry and kidnapping, I think it's a welcome development. But sincerely speaking, I'm beginning to have a feeling that is a kind of political.
You think the state policing is political?
Power against hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Usman. Okay. We seem to lost him. I mean, he made a point that I really wanted to hear. He said he thinks it is political. Yeah. So I wanted to hear why his thought is going towards that direction. Why do you think it's political? I hope he gets the colours back, of course.
Well, it is political because politicians are involved. Governors are politicians. Well, like I was saying...
I don't think that was what he really meant.
Well, I am giving it a minute.
Well, we have another
I don't know.
caller.
I think I'm just making you laugh today.
Yeah, indeed. Good morning. Good morning. Are you still with us?
Hello.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Your name and location.
My name is Yakubu Musa, calling you from Jos.
Okay. Thank you for joining us from Plateau State. Go ahead with your thoughts.
You see, the issue of this state police, I always think twice about it. Now, are we going to have 2 police commissioners? Or the governor of the state is the IG? Or we have double police station DPOs? So there will be conflict. There will be problem between the state and the federal police. And one fact is that when there is an issue between indigenous and non-indigenous, those state police, they will go behind the indigenous as their fellow brothers. They know Nigeria very well. And you that you are not an indigenous there, when something happens, you would like to rush to the federal police. Maybe you have somebody there. So this kind of things. And I believe the government will be using this police to victimize opposition, to win the election, to rig the election. When you are talking of this issue of terrorism, this and that, within a single state, there is somebody who has never been to a local government on the other side of the state. Will you force him to go and work there? You don't know their cliffs. You don't know their villages. So my own thinking is that let's strengthen the federal police. Deploy more. Look after their welfare. Train them very well. Give them more equipment. Put eyes on them. It is their weakness that brings about all this.
But you know, the main problem, about the federal police, I don't know if you're still with us, the main problem is not just about, the armory that they don't have. There is also the strength, the numbers. And that was why there's been suggestion of state policing. So in all of this, you don't see any advantage? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
You see, Nigeria is a nation with diverse tribes. Sentiment is there. Nepotism is there. Other problems are still there. Now, with the current situation, whether somebody from Calabar will transfer to Kano to go and work. Look, it's just like NYSC. You're familiar with the people from different sides of the country. Now, when I say police is informed, they only transfer you within that state. You don't have experience to go and work in Calabar if you are in Bauchi. Even in Bauchi, you are into a local government, you are never going to get out. And if they have transferred you there, you don't know anything there again. So our problem is the governor will be using the police or the state police to win the election, to victimize the opposition, and to arrest anybody they want.
So you think it's also
for Nigeria to live in peace, this kind of federal police is the best. Yes.
Okay, you made a valid point. Thank you so much for your contribution. Now, I would want to ask our director to just hold a bit on the pause. Let's analyze exactly, from the call what this last caller said. He pinpointed, the disadvantage of it, which we all agree there's always advantage and disadvantage of these situations like this, Fatima. Now, the main reason why experts have been pushing for state policing is for the fact that this would help, due to the numbers, of course, that we're having. Police have been pushing for more hands on deck because they're not enough. Due to the statistic, it says one police is supposed to protect about, a million person, which is not possible. So that's why it was been suggested. But then he came with another angle. One of the reasons why federal police it has been working is because police don't stay in a particular state for the long time. They tend to be exchanged. You move them from this place to the other, which is so that they don't get used to a new government or particular people. And of course, that could breed a bit of breaking the law themselves because of that familiarity. So I know that reason. So his point that he's making is the fact that this is something that could now sway. When the governors are the one creating these things, they tend to have power, and it would definitely lead to maybe intimidation. It could lead to more corruption than what we intended or what we are working towards avoiding, and also that could cause sabotage to the whole thing. So I get what he's saying, and that's something, of course, to put into consideration. At the end of the day, he said he's not okay with the state policing. They should just work on the federal more. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But then I just want to put it out there that he made a valid, point. Yes. All right. And now, of course, we can get more phone calls. Do not forget, call the number on your screen and also send WhatsApp messages. All right. We'll have another caller. Good morning.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning. Your name and location. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. We are here with you. Your name and location,
please. My name is Matthew. I'm calling from Edo State.
Okay, Matthew from Edo. Thank you for joining us. What's your take on the state policing?
Yeah, I think it's the best way to go.
Okay.
For me, it is the best way to go. Because there are many advantages. I think the advantages overwhelm the disadvantages people are pointing at.
Matthew, are you with us?
If we go into this very project, with time, we overcome it. The ones that we cannot do it, we throw them out. People are talking about whether there's going to be two IGs. There's nothing like two IGs. You integrate infuse them together, so to speak, in a way that, like in US, the FBI is the overall. When there are major issues, the FBI comes in, the state police withdraws. And then the FBI, because of their capability and their weight, they are allowed to take over that case. They will tell the man that is there, please excuse us. This is FBI. They take over. So that is what I think should happen in this case. We should not look at governors coming to use it to arrest the people's wife and the rest of them. Those are just reasons that are infinitesimal to the benefit of it. We should always be positive in our thinking. I don't know why anything that is concerning Nigeria, people will begin to say they will use it for what are the benefits?
Indeed.
We should think of the benefit. Because
of course, we are thinking of the benefit, Matthew, but that doesn't mean we would also dismiss the thoughts of other people. The people also have valid points. It's just for us to weigh the pros and the cons, right? Are you with us? Please turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can talk to you from over your phone, because there was a delay. But then Matthew, yes, thank you, of course, for your thoughts.
Okay, so
he made a point.
I think I can talk now.
Yeah. Of course, it's all about the modalities anyways, what he made mention. I think the previous caller, it's just asking questions that he said, okay, if you people are setting all of these things, give us answers to this.
Yeah, so what I believe, like this caller Matthew just spoke about what is happening in the US. You could see that they have the NYPDs, they have the FBIs. Everyone has a certain responsibility that is assigned to them. So when the state police is initiated, the vigilantes will take charge of certain activities that is meant for them to take charge.
Okay, I think we already have a caller. Our director didn't tell us why. Why would you do that? Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, it's good to have you. Your name and location, please.
Mr. Ojon Brown, calling from Cross River State.
It's good to have you from Cross River. Tell us your take on this topic.
For this issue of state police, I think it's something that is appreciated and should be supported. The only challenge, or what I'm trying to look at, is the operational condition. It should not be left loose to the state alone. They should be supervised by the federal police. And down to the states here, it should not be left to the politicians. As I'm talking to you, this issue of community or state policing, whatever name they will attach it should be grassroots based. It should even be tied to even families' head or communities, clans. So every area will be policed. Like, for instance, in my area, I've not seen a policeman for the past 2 years. The best police is my dog. For now, nobody comes to my area because of the kind of dogs I train there. And by this experience, if the community are allowed to be involved in this community or state police, up to the families, each family at least will have one policeman that will secure the entire area of his coverage. I think it will give us a lasting solution. Criminals around my place, like now, there's no policeman, whether federal or from the state headquarters, that knows the boundary of my farm and the inlet of other enemies from the Cameroon, because I'm close to the Cameroon border. So I think that idea of state policing should be encouraged and should, in short, if they can do it within any delay, I will be the happiest man. Because of this state policing, I even went and involved myself with vigilante up to Kaduna.
Okay, are you still with us? I think we lost him. He was
making a point.
Yes, indeed. I appreciate your call from Cross River.
And
the need. Yes, people need to feel the impact.
Yes,
around them.
So, like I was saying, they should have their responsibilities signed. What the police is supposed to take charge should take charge. What the vigilantes are supposed to do, they should. If there's need for them to have license for certain things, like the Southwest have formed Amotekun, and then their counterparts like the Southeast also have the Ebube Agu and what have you. And they're trying to ask to see if they can be given license to acquire guns like AK-47s and what, because there's going to be a kind of battle between the bandits, they somehow need to be prepared and ready for that. So We have our first WhatsApp message. I support the creation of state police on one hand, and on the other hand, the federal government should improve the services and increase the staff strength of Nigerian police to the tune of millions.
I mean, that's the main point of the state police, increasing the strength.
Well, you've forgotten to add your name and location, but then
well, we got the picture.
So much. Yeah, no, that's the new style, you know.
Yeah.
And so
thank you so much for that. That's
thank
really
you,
amazing.
Mr. No Name. But
it's all about the strength anyway. That's what this state policing is all about. And speaking of the synergy,
Hello?
something that we'll get to talk about that. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. It's good to have you. Your name and location.
Yeah. Sorry, I called earlier, and as we were discussing, the network got bad, and I...
Oh, okay. Yes, you did.
Yeah, it is Usman from Toro.
Okay. Go ahead, Usman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. As I was saying, it may be good, it may be bad, the issue of state policing. And it has to do with the patriotism of the people that are going to head the various states. The states where the police will be initiated in. And at the same time, if it will lead to peace for the common man in the villages, then it's a welcome development. But then there are issues that has to do with funding and personal characteristics of the particular politicians that are involved. Because various states are facing various problems. For example, there is the issue of insecurity, that is, indigent settler phenomena. There are issues of politics, fighting against political opponents. There are issues that are surrounded within corruption and things like that. So that in itself is a threat. I have fears that it may even lead to another round of insecurity within the various states.
How so?
But we hope it is all goodwill that they are demanding for this state police. But actually, if it is truly a patriotic need, then I think there is a need for that. But we just have to have that fear in mind that it can lead to anything and it can be changed for other purposes with the nature of our country and the nature of politicians that we have. That is just my contribution concerning that. But left to me, I think if it will lead to peace, then fine. Because we need peace now in this country. We need a stable country.
Indeed.
Free from banditry, kidnapping, and all these sort of insecurity issues. Yeah, thank you.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Usman, for your take on that situation. I mean, he pointed out the pros and the concern. Okay, we do need it now, but then, of course, there is that fear, and the fear it's okay to be there. It's
and
just
I would
a
like
precaution.
to say thank you to Sabio Idris Kofi for the first message that we took from WhatsApp. He finally sent us his name. So thank you. And he's actually sending that from Katsina State. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sabio,
for that. Yes, so Sumaya, you can see that a lot of people are actually calling, and because of the topic and what we are talking about, and for the safety of the citizens and the country at large, it is always going to be this back and forth and argument about whether they should or they should not. But then I strongly encourage and support state policies to be initiated in states, because for the safety of the community, people, the citizens of those states, because people are actually tired and scared every day.
People now are angry. They want to
people are
protect
angry,
themselves.
and people are actually willing to even come out and be part of the vigilantes if the need be. So, they know that they are willing to sacrifice their lives because anything,
protect their people. Yes, typical example of what happened in Niger State. One of the people was narrating that he was in another village when he heard that his village was being attacked. And the first thought is, my families are there. So he took his bike going back to the situation. So imagine if he was part of the state police. You know that these are my communities, these are my people. I need to protect them. And to put it out there, Nigeria is not the first to implement the state police. Just like Fatima said, the United States, the UK all have it. There's something you hear, state police. And there is always synergy between them. And when other people, when it's happening, the previous caller made mention that, of course, the FBI might come if the case is a high-profile case, or if it's something that is high, like maybe terrorism and all that.
Exactly. If it is, suicidal, suicide. Sorry, there are certain people that are actually taking charge of this.
Yes, they'll come and take over. So there is always synergy. Everybody would be given their
everyone
level
knows
of
what they are supposed to do.
Yes,
and they can actually have their own office to report to. They don't have to have 2 DPOs or 2 IG. No,
no, I don't think
we
don't
need
like
that because the vigilantes are a group on their own, like the Amotekun, like the Ebube, like I said. So once they are created, everyone has a name that you can address them as, like the Amotekun and the rest. But they are not going to be the police, because it's not the same with what the police are doing. Yes. Uniform is not the same, everything.
I think it will be, though.
Good morning, fabulous ladies. Oh, wow. Thank you so much in the house. For me, creating state police is not the best way forward. Okay. The way forward is to recruit more men into the police force and deploy them to their respective local governments. Some governors may use state police against their opponents, etc. We need more men in the force, as simple as ABC. Okay, this is coming from Peters and from Sokoto, by the way. Yeah, so thank you, Katrina Sokoto.
Peters, appreciate you. Yes,
thank you.
These are states that have
states
been suffering,
close to each other.
Yes, they've been suffering insecurity back to back. So, of course,
so you see, like I rightly said, there are people that will agree for state policing to be initiated, and some will not agree.
And the fear is just for the police not to lose its autonomy, its grip, where governors or political people would definitely use it.
And the reason for the vigilantes is because they know the perpetrators. Oh, okay, so we have a call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Your name and location.
My name is Mr. Yakubu, calling from Bombay.
Okay, Mr. Yakubu. Thank you so much for joining. Go ahead.
Thank you. About the topic that is going on now. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
About the state policing. In fact, if Nigeria need more police, they need to recruit more. Because what is happening in this country, you cannot start example from US to Nigeria. A lot of policies that are working in US cannot work in this country. The state policing, the state police who buy them vehicle, who pay them salary is all from federal government allocation. So why not ask the federal government, encourage federal government to recruit more of these boys? Because the way you are seeing the situation of this country, there are so many things that are workable in other places that does not work here.
Why wouldn't it work here, though? Why do you think it wouldn't work?
It's because of our nature. It's because of our nature.
Well,
it's because of our nature. Take example, some states, we are talking of our Ameteku in the east there. Now they are working, right? There's other places who have the state kidnapping every day and night. Yes, we know that those guys that are kidnapping, they are Nigerians. They live in local government, in community with us. But nobody wants to point out this is my child and this is their attitude. So that is what is happening in this country. So there's no truth. So the government, state government cannot buy a vehicle, pay salary for the state police, and when he want to recontest election, and he said those guys are not working for him, then he refuse to pay them salary. So you have to know very well, you have to teach very well before we embark on that. It's a very big journey.
Indeed. Thank you
that is
so
my
much.
taking.
Thank you so much on sharing your thoughts with us. We appreciate you from Gombe. I mean, he made mention of the points. It shares also some of the concerns of Nigerians, which is, someone else overtaking the operations. But yes, we have not heard the details of it yet. We don't know the modalities, but definitely we're sure that the Senate are considering all of these concerns, before accepting and pushing for this bill reading. But then one thing is for sure, when someone says it wouldn't work here because of our thoughts, and I get where it's all coming from, but guess what? We're all humans, and Rome wasn't built in one day. When we say we have to reorient ourselves on situations like this,
we have to have a good mindset.
It all boils down to holding people accountable. When people are held accountable, Fatima, when they say, okay, this is what is going to happen. If you try to sabotage this, even if you're a governor, there should be some, things that there should be a public complaint. And we know we do have public complaint. So there should be a means for these people to have a complaint of what is happening. And I think still there will be a synergy when it comes to paying of this state police with the federal government and the state government. It would be among the budget that the state government
I have
is going
just
to
this
submit.
feeling that the state police is going to help out, to fish out the it's going to be more positive than negative, because these vigilantes that are going to be assigned, or they are going to be created as the state police, know the access of their community and their state, and I'm sure they will be able to tackle this bandits, the kidnappings happening in their states, because some of them actually know who these people are.
Indeed.
So that's the positive side, to the whole
they
state
do
police.
Have intel
yes,
already.
Because when they know that the people in the communities are the ones that are assigned, or they are recruited as vigilantes, they will know that, okay, yes, I know this person, or I know someone that is this way, and when they are assigned or they are in part of this, is going to be war for us. So they would be scared, I feel. So I just have this good mindset that whatever the governors and the presidents are trying to do is for the safety of the Nigerian citizens.
Indeed.
It's not just one person. We've lost loved ones, we've lost children, we've lost old ones, just innocent souls that have been kidnapped and killed. They've had their own share of the trauma that they had to go through. And we just want a solution. And if the solution is the state policing, then yes, even though like I said, there's going to be an argument there. There are people that will go for, and there are people that will go against. It's always like that. But then let's have a positive mind and see what happens, and believe that it's going to work.
Yeah, and even with the positive, even with what other people have pointed out, I'm sure, the people in charge of all of this will take it
and
into
we are having messages coming in.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Sumaya and Fatima.
Good morning.
Muhammad Modibo, good morning.
It's good to have you.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you very much for having me on the program this morning of today.
Thank you.
It's good to hear from you.
Yeah, we're talking about creation of state police. As to me, in my own humble opinion, the creation of state police is long overdue. It is a contemporaneous reality that is in line with what is being operational globally. The centralized policing system we are operating in this country is not longer yielding the needed positive result for us, and it is not what is in line with what is being operational globally. We cannot continue to do one thing and expect different results. We are operating a centralized policing system that is not addressing the issue of insecurity in our country. What calls for the creation of state police is because of the precarious nature of our security situation. How the issue of insecurity is being degenerated, how these marauders, good-for-nothing, blood-testing monsters that are wreaking havoc on our people, killing innocent people day in, day out in those crisis-ridden areas. And believe you me sincerely, when we when we allow the creation of state police, this thing is going to address the issue of insecurity in those crisis-ridden areas, because those people that are killing our people in the most brutal manner are people that are living in those areas. They are not people that are coming from other areas to come and kill those people. So these people knows the terrain, knows the deal of those criminals. They can easily identify them and deal with them decisively. What is even stopping them now is because they are not being allowed to carry sophisticated weapons. But these marauders are always coming with sophisticated weapons that are not even allowed to be used conventionally on.
Mama Modibo, are you still with us? I think we lost him, but then in the time you're here, you of course made your own point.
Now that's what I was actually going through. Now, my opinion on creation of state police is considering the fact that we tribalize everything in this country. We regionalize everything. I would rather say it's not yet time for us to have it, which is the state police. We are not ripe until we reach until we reach such a time when all Nigerians will think as Nigerians and also think as one people. We must not be ready to put the country's interest first. I mean, our interest should be national interest for now. My view is no, we don't need state police. Also, in recent times, religion has crept into play and further dividing us as a people. Based on these factors, I would say we are not ready to have state police. The solution to the security challenges the country is facing remains the federal police structure. We should continue with the present police system until we are mature enough to have state police, as it is the case in countries like the United States of America. Now, that message
Did he leave a name?
Yes, that message is coming from Rabiu Abdu Kanjiba from Katsina State. Yeah, we have lots of messages
Rabiu, oh my
that
God,
I would have loved for us to take.
I just need to, no, please, let's hold. I just need to dissect what he said. He made mention of, I was waiting for him to give a vivid reason why we don't need it at this point, but tribe is not an issue at this point because it is based on state. And it's definitely going to be based on your local government. I think that's how it should work. If it's based on state, I don't think our tribes and regions should affect state policing at all. And if we're going to wait for us to remove that mentality, it's not going anywhere. I don't see it going anywhere.
You know what I think? I think what they are thinking about is the fact that, when these vigilantes are going to be recruited, they are going to be different tribes.
Can you stop calling them vigilantes? They're going to be state police.
Okay, state police. Well, they are not yet state police. They are yet to be recruited, but they are going to be state police as vigilantes of. Yes.
All right, we have more messages.
So I just feel the tribal issue is because they feel, they are going to be different tribes in that group. So some people may favor their own tribes.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's the point that they're trying to make. So good morning, thank you. State police is good, but the bad aspect of it is that politicians will sabotage it right from the time of recruitment. The right people with capacity will not be recruited. Politicians will share the slots to their families, friends, and political associates. This is coming from Amegwa Esau from Nasarawa State. Now, Samaya, that's your cousin.
Thank you so much, Amegwa. But
so I pronounced it well.
Yeah, you did.
I thought I murdered the name. It's your cousin, but
at the end of the day, what you made mention of, hopefully, it wouldn't get to that point. I mean, this is something. This is a serious matter. And even family and friends, if they are offered, based on nepotism, they are offered that position, I'm sure if they know they will not be capable of doing it, they're going to shy away because the insecurity in the country is eating us deep and we need serious-minded people. So when you know that you're going to be at the forefront of a war, a battle, of saving your own country, if you know that you're not capable, you wouldn't take the job. So I don't think I have any fear of, people going, getting opportunities from family and friends. This is not something about money. This is all about patriotism. How much do you want to eradicate insecurity in the country. But I understand your fears, of course. It's something that, a lot of people also have same fears of people taking over. But we are hopeful. The governors at this point already know what is going on in each state, and the back and forth, the back-to-back of attacks in states, local governments, villages. It's really affecting everybody at this point. So we hope, it doesn't get sabotaged. But of course, we have more messages to get through.
Good morning, ladies. Creation of state police is not bad idea, but who is to pay? So I will advise the federal government to recruit more manpower. Thanks, Richard Nkoyuk from Cross River State. How did you know how to pronounce Nkoyuk?
Nkoyuk. I'm a Nigerian. I try, even though it might not come out.
So you think I don't try? I'm not a Nigerian because you actually threw me.
You are from Nigeria, halfway, partly. But then yes, let's make it clear on this state policing. That people keep complaining about. I mean, what exactly did he say? I want to just get back quickly on exactly what Richard said from Cross River, because I was about to make a point based on what he wrote, and I lost a bit of exactly what he said. Richard made mention of the fact that who is going to pay them, the federal government should do it. The main reason, exactly, I got it already. The main reason why the state police is being pushed, it's not because of, even though yes, we need more hands, but it's not really because the federal government cannot recruit people. The main thing is because we want people from that particular region to protect themselves, to be able to protect themselves. We want people from that region who are already passionate, who have felt the brunt of the insecurity happening in that region, to protect themselves. It's not like there are states that insecurity are not that, it's not that much, say typical, I'm just using an example. Say, let's pick Cross River, okay? Example, I'm not saying if there is no insecurity happening there, but let's say Cross River now. You get people from Cross River to come to this place. They cannot really relate to what these people are going through. Say Niger State has been in the forefront, or Kaduna State. So these people cannot really relate, even if they are really patriotic and want to do their job. But then when you get people from Kaduna State, from local governments, example like the Chukun local government, the Kajuri local government, that have been suffering back to back on insecurity, then these people can wholeheartedly, put in their best and protect their people. I think that is exactly why the state police has been created.
Okay, so we just have a message. He said, for me, state police is a welcome idea. You forgot to say your name.
You just went straight to the point and gave us a smile on the picture. So.
His picture, yeah, he did. We actually have tons of messages, Sumaya. I wish we could just, read through almost all of it. But, and it's interesting to see that we are actually getting lots of contributions this morning from our viewers, and it actually says a lot. And then our first message that came from Sabiu said, Trust TV, I am sincerely impressed by your efficiency. The first minute I posted my contribution with regards to state police, and it was broadcasted the next minute. Please keep it up. Now, I had to read that. Thank you so much, Sabiu, for saying that. To us, it's a word of encouragement. It means a lot.
Appreciate, yes. This segment is all about our
having
viewers.
the conversation.
Yes,
it's about you.
So
definitely we want to take your message if it comes through. Why not? Except we don't have time.
Indeed.
So let's take. I just read out that. So thank you. That's from Sabiu from Katsina. Yes. So thank you so much, Sabiu. Well, we have other messages. If we can just take few, but then it's time, I think, for us to wrap this segment. Even though it's sad, it's always fun.
And it is always fun. And honestly, we there's so many messages that, oh my God, you went through all of this.
I actually was going through it literally, and I wish I could just take everything.
Indeed.
Right
we
now,
definitely
I just feel like
appreciate all of you. Oh my God, we can't read all. But then I saw, we have someone, Innocent Ogeme from Edo State, just stating the names there to say, we've seen your message, we appreciate you. We've seen Gani Olomi, we appreciate you. Another person, we have Yinka from Port Harcourt, also appreciate you.
We have J. Steve from Gombe.
Yeah, Musa from Gombe as well.
Messages,
we appreciate you, honestly. And due to time, of course, we can go through all your messages. And for those that were able to read their messages, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for the calls. For people that tried reaching out, but they were not able to. But the fun part about this our segment is that it happens every day from Monday through Saturdays. And if today you don't get opportunity, then tomorrow, of course, your message could be put out there and also your phone calls would be received. But we appreciate the time and the contribution. And we hope that at the end of the day, the state policing favors us, because when we weigh the pros and cons, the pros outweighs the cons of it. Well, thank you so much for calling in. But yes, do not go anywhere. Of course, the show continues. Let's talk about another aspect of the economy that we need to also learn from and also push to get the pros and cons as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is Daybreak coming to you from our studios here in Abuja. In case you missed out on the newspaper and the phone line, do catch us across our social media handles. Yeah, and now we are going into our discussion exploring the thriving world of thrift selling. For those who don't maybe know the meaning of thrift, it's maybe, let's say, a bend down select for some people, and then guanjo for some people, like they rightly call it. Yeah, so that's what we are going to be discussing, the marketing around that industry. Yeah, thrift is the art of mindful spending and resource management, emphasizing frugality, sustainability, and finding value in second-hand or used items. It involves making wise financial decisions, avoiding wastefulness, and maximizing the utility of resources. Thrift encourages a conscious approach to consumption, promoting saving money and reducing environmental impact through reusing and repurposing goods. You're opposing good or you're proposing good. Yeah, so joining us via Zoom from Plateau State is Mopani Jibran. She's CEO Alcamila's Apparel. Thank you so much, Mopal, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Sorry, I have a little bit of cold.
Oh, it's fine. You're looking good, by the way.
Thank you so much, Fatih.
All right. So tell us what, inspired you to go into thrift selling?
Okay, with thrift, you have an opportunity to have a variety of fashion clothing in your closet, from branded high brands that you can normally not walk into their store to afford it, to very unique things that you cannot find anywhere on the street. Like, you can't just see random people wear it. And for me, fashion is what stands you out. When you go out, you command the attention, you command all the attention, and then everybody is just staring at you. Wow, wow, wow. That is fashion for me. So I like to wear very unique things, and that inspired my treasure hunt. I call thrifting treasure hunt, actually. So that was what inspired me.
I mean, you painted a very beautiful picture, CEO Alk Cavical or Camilla. Your business name is really interesting, and people will not even guess what this is all about. But it's already a powerful name that you have, selected for your brand. But based on all the picture that you've painted, saying you love fashion, which is one of the things that people want. If you are starting up a business, you should be passionate. It should be something you can relate with. But then a lot of people have a bit of doubt. I mean, we've seen how people underrate or undermine, thrift clothing or items. People tend to see it as though, it's not really that unique or it's not really that deserving. What is your take on that? How have you received, that kind of reaction from people where they undermine the business that you do?
Yes, very, very, very well. The fact that it is secondhand. Some people feel that, oh, somebody has worn it, and it could be somebody I don't know. What if the person is into witchcraft? You hear people say that. What if the person has some ancestral curse or just some funny kind of myths? So people tend to look down. That's just the word, look down on thrifting, because they feel that, no matter how poor, some people tell you, no matter how poor I am, I won't wear thrift clothing. But then the thing about thrifting is not every thrift clothing has been worn. When we open bills, there are times that we get brand new items with their tags. Of course, if a cloth is worn, the tag will not be on it, right? So there are things that have been cleared from stores, like clearance from the store, and have found themselves into that bills that they send out as thrifting. So not every clothes that is in the bill has been worn. Yeah, and then there are times that you find things, parts, even in their parts.
We've seen how celebrities, tend to recycle their clothes. Some of them get gifts from this big brand and they don't use it for the longest time. So later on, they will just decide to sell it. So if I align with what you're saying, situations like that also arises, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
So, Mopal, tell us, how do you source for your, items, and how do you, get to pick what you think your customers will actually like, because everyone wants a quality clothing line that they can actually want to use. It depends on what, you bring into your shop. So, how do you source for it? Do you travel? Do you, import them? How do you source for your materials?
Okay, being in business for, let's say, close to 10 years. I started way back 2012 while I was in the university. So being in business for that long, it's almost like I have a look for every customer in my mind. So when I go out to shop, I see you in a particular dress. So when I'm picking this dress, I'm picking it and say, oh, this will look nice on Fati. And then when I actually started buying from Lagos. Then I started exploring other markets. I've been to Kano, I've been to Ibadan. Then, of course, we have a big market in Jos, Terminus, Katako. Then I've been to other markets in Abuja too, where you find very lovely thrifts. So I just spread across. I watch a lot of videos on Instagram, and some people are gracious enough to tell us, with all these content creation, some people are gracious enough to tell you markets where you would find certain type of thrift clothing. So I follow those kind of people online. Then whenever I find myself in those towns, I make sure that I visit those markets. Then on other times, I just set out for business. I go to the markets, find vendors, and that's how I create my contacts and shop my clothing.
You just, I mean, a typical Nigerian, we just assume it's one of the most easiest job. But what you're painting looks kind of tedious. Traveling all around in order to explore your market. I mean, it just goes to show, honestly, how passionate you are about your job. But let's talk about the current, state of thrifting right now. People tend to see it as, more less conscious, kind of buying, where that, okay, if I don't have the money for a more luxurious product, then I should go for something affordable, which is why some people think people turn to thrifting. So right now, what is your take? Do you think it has shifted a bit into mainstream?
Yes, it has. It has a lot, because as you said, luxury items now are really for the rich, the haves. So let's say if a dress of 25K, right? A dress of 25K can afford you beautiful, good dresses, like 3 different good dresses in Thrift. So this dress you're buying for 25K that is brand new and luxury in code, you can get 3 beautiful dresses for that same amount. So which would you take? We know that prices of things have skyrocketed, right? Salaries have not increased, standard of living has changed, and a lot of things. So if you don't cut down costs, you want to wear a brand new clothes every day to work, you cannot afford to buy a dress for 25K every single week. But you can buy new clothes from Thrift, very beautiful new clothing from Thrift, and still maintain that your very beautiful lifestyle. You wear your new clothes and they are affordable and they are still good.
Okay. So, like Sumaya said, the way you paint everything, it's obvious that when you started, you were not shy and, you had to start gradually to get to where you are. And I've gone through your social media handle, to see how well you've been doing. And I've seen the turnout of, the customers and the feedbacks that you've been getting. So what role does online platform play, in the success of, selling thrift clothing, especially online? How has
Okay, the market is now online. The market is now online. Like, for you to succeed in any business, you have to maintain a strong online presence. When I started, I didn't have a shop. I did not have a shop. I was moving with the things on my hand. That time, I didn't even know how to drive. So I was basically moving from one place to another with the things on my hand. But when I started advertising my things online, I noticed that people, well, when I started, it was basically people who knew me, that knew that I am a real human being and I will not run away with their money. But over the years, as I kept building a presence online, people began to believe in the brand. They began to trust me with their money. So people from Lagos, people from Port Harcourt, I have people even outside the country that buy from me. So I think that consistency built a very strong presence for me online. And it has been amazing. I have a physical store now, but I can tell you that 80% of the things that I sell are sold online. So it's basically like I'm running a physical store, just a physical store where I keep goods. But 80% of my items are sold online. So the market is online. Online has been amazing. Social media has been amazing.
It's a good opportunity,
Indeed.
for Nigerian youths. That's the social media for those who are taking it seriously. Anyways, but there's this thing that I want to learn from thrift shoppers. When it comes to thrift shopping, you're buying in bill, right? So it's huge, and it all boils down to you have to calculate your transport money, the way bill, and all of that. So how are you able to? What is your secret when it comes to putting prices on these things? And also, how are you able to spot a high quality? Because you made mention earlier that sometimes there are high quality product that could be found in that bill. So how are you able to spot the high quality and to determine this is how it should go in order for you to recover your money? It's really a complicated situation when it comes to business. So, of course, I would want to hear from you.
Okay, so first, what we do is there's what we call signing of bill, right? So let me use gin for instance. There's a 55 kg of London UK gin. That's a 55 kg, and in that bill, you don't get more than 100 pairs of gin in that bill. So there's what Hausa people call kaida. That's like the I don't know how to put it in English well, but it's like the grade, yes, the grade of that gin. So once they open that gin for you, right, you have to pick up to 50 pieces. So this first 50 that is taken out of this bill is considered the first grade.
Okay.
So that's the first grade of the bill. So any number you pick outside that 50, the price goes down. So let me say, for instance, I open a bill of gin and every pair is 3,200 naira, right? And I pick 50 pieces. The first 50, after that first 50 pieces, I can negotiate as low as 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, because the remaining is considered the second grade of the bill. So for my costing, I already have an expense list of running my shop, which include my shop rent, the salaries that I pay, the repairs. For the things in my shop, I launder them. I don't wash them. but we take them to the laundry and they do some steaming and cleansing so that when you buy them, you can even wear it from the shop. So we don't take them the way they are rumpled from the market and dump them in the shop. No, we take them and we launder them. So every cost that we incur in the process of getting a good to be on our shelf, we calculate them and we divide them. Then we have a minimum quantity to sell every month. So when we divide that by our minimum quantity, we now spread that cost, that expense cost, across the price of the goods. And that's how we arrive at our pricing. That's how we get to cost a particular item. And then sometimes when we sort those bills, you realize that some things.
Okay, so Mopat, let me ask this question. With the economic hardship, a lot of people want to venture into different businesses at this point. Would like you to tell us, how did you start? How much did you start with, and and how that has turned out for you? Because there are a lot of people that want to start businesses and they feel the money they have is too small to kickstart some businesses. So, in your own experience, what would you say they can do, to learn from your own experience at this point?
Well, I didn't start with more than 50,000 naira, but I think Thrift business is one business that you can start with no capital. And how do I mean? I have a shop, right? If you're interested in this business, all you can do is come to me, we negotiate and we agree. Okay, I have these things in bulk. I can give you at this particular rate. All you need to do is take pictures of this thing, advertise to your own people, and when they pay you, you come to my shop and you pick, you pay me what is mine and you go with what is yours. As simple as that. So I don't think that there are a lot of businesses now that you really don't need money. You just drop ship. When you drop ship those items, you get your cut, the seller gets their code, and the customer receives their item. As simple as that. So you really do not need any capital. But Thrift business is the business that you can do for as low as 10,000 naira, 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira. You can do it. Just study your environment. What are the class of people around your environment? Do you have students? If it's students might necessarily not afford very expensive things. So you can go for those second grade that are still very presentable. Then you sell them at very minimal rate. You still make your profit and you still sell to your customers. Then you keep building and building, and that's how you build a castle.
At this point, I want to see your castle, with the building and building going on.
Certainly.
but with all of these things you've said, yes, it's looking like, thrift selling rather is a really time-consuming job. So how are you able to balance the pressure from the hunt of you going to maybe Ibadan and other places around, and then still have the energy and efficiency to deliver on the business on a daily basis?
As you said, it is passion that drives you to do anything. It is passion that this was birthed out of passion, right? So it's more like it's life to me. Shopping it's a life therapy to me. It's something that I can do even at my lowest. Even when I'm sick and hospitalized, you see me making calls, sending messages, trying to seal deals and all. It is just pure passion. And of course, since it pays my bill, why should I slack? That's the basic. I hardly would go completely broke, because you know how it is now. Maybe a customer buys stores for 10,000 and pays you 5,000 naira. That very morning that you wake up very broke, you just see that customer reminds you and pay you your remaining 5,000 naira. So with thrift business, you can hardly ever go completely broke. You always have money coming in and out and in and out from somewhere. So I just love doing it, and it's not any big deal.
Okay. So, over time, there's this perception about thrift, earlier when it started, people didn't really want to buy it, but now people are actually, going with the trends. What are the common challenges, that thrift sellers face, and how do you overcome them?
Well, the major challenge that I face is getting consistent supply. Like, I've not been able to travel in a while due to health challenge. So I've been trying to explore other means. And honestly, I have lost a lot of money from last year through early this year, because I had to ask myself, if I don't get to ever travel again, does it mean that my business will close? So I started reaching out to other online vendors so that I can buy from them. But it has not been a funny one. It is the issue of what you ordered versus what you get. So it has been a great loss. But then it has not stopped me. They are legit people. I tell people just the way that I am legit. I know there's someone there who has a conscience and who is honest. And except I take the risks that takes me to that person, I may never get to that point. So I just try to reduce. Well, of course, I will not continue losing money, but I would do it with wisdom and with a lot of calculations. So I am reaching out to other people in the thrift industry and see if I can collaborate with them and get supplies from them, since I don't have a direct contact now that can supply me goods. So basically, the challenge is getting, like, for jobs now, you can get a good bill today, but tomorrow when you get to call your supplier, he tells you that he's expecting goods. So you wait and wait and wait, and you know how business money is. It doesn't want it to be kept one place. It is, as you get, you reinvest. The more it comes, you turn it over into the business. So getting frequent supply is a challenge for me in Jos at the moment.
Apart from different suppliers, you made mention, you pointed out something about, sometimes you could order and then you get something entirely from the bill. I mean, last week or last 2 weeks, we saw a video on social media making round of someone literally crying in front of her own bill, saying what she wanted was, the long full abaya, but then the sizes she got was small. So that has really crushed her, and she was crying and saying, please just help me buy for your kids for some reason. Let me just recover the money. So in situations like that, have you ever, faced something like that? And how did you, get through that particular challenge?
So I bought, there are this class of people in the market that go for the second-hand clothing, like the second grade of the second hand, right? They take it to the villages to sell. So I have bought bodysuits from an online vendor, and what she sent to me were racks. Those things were completely racks, like things that you cannot even wear to stay at home with. But then when I discussed with somebody in the market, he told me that all those village people have a way of refurbishing those kind of things. Well, to me, it looked like racks. Then he now said that those guys could refurbish those things and take it to the village market and still sell and make their money. So when I spoke to him, he got me somebody who came and inspected the things, bought the things off me, and went away. But of course, that was a loss, because I could not make the amount I bought the clothes from her talk more of profit. So it was a complete loss. But then I got some money to buy some.
But something else. Yeah, we seem to have network, and honestly, I'm even grateful that we were able to, get
I think she's back. I actually saw her moving. So
yeah, I mean, she she dissected everything, and the challenges. That was what I wanted to know.
I have this curious question I wanted to ask her, because there's this technique and strategy that they put into their business, that attracts customers. I would have really loved to know how.
I mean, does she even need to look at her face? She seems to have a vast knowledge of what she does, and I'm sure it was based on.
She started 10 years ago. What do you expect? And she was determined. When she started, she didn't give up. She wasn't shy. They say, "Oh, I'm not going to start selling," and you can hear that she started as low as 50,000. So, reason why I asked that question is because for people to know that you can actually start a business with the minimum amount that you have.
She made mention of 10,000.
10,000, because there are some thrifts that you can actually select for 500, 700, 600. It depends on what you're actually buying.
And it's so amazing while, having her right now, Fatima. A lot of young people are going into thrift selling these days. And it's really amazing.
And, just look at how she has painted everything. When she buys them, she takes them to the laundry, they steam this. So it will turn out to be as brand new as it's supposed to be. So you won't even believe that they are thrifts actually. So thank you so much, Mopal, for joining us, even though we lost you due to some network issues. I'm sure if you can hear us, we want to say thank you for joining us on the program.
Of course, for dissecting the situation and giving out challenges, how you can maneuver and conquer it. Exactly. Because we all know that every business comes with its own, tedious challenge. So if situations like that happen, what do you do? So thank you for asking, for answering that. Sometimes there might be loss, but definitely you're not going to lost it all entirely. Yes, because that lady I saw on social media, I don't know if you saw that video, broke my heart, Fatima, of that lady crying out with her own full bill, saying she got, instead of an adult abayas, she got kids abayas, and it's actually messed up her plans.
So she couldn't sell them?
Yes, because her customers already are people that want bigger buyers, so she couldn't sell them. So instead she just made a video, put a video out there, and then decided to, she was crying, explaining exactly what happened and begging Nigerians to just help her recover her money at least. So a lot of people reached out from the comment section, and I'm sure she was able to at least sell them out, because children are not really things that people are really often buying.
Maybe there was a mistake, when after she selected, and then maybe they shifted the wrong package to her, and then shifted hers to someone, because this kind of mistakes actually tend to happen. It tends to happen,
and people get excited and they don't return what the initial.
It depends on what they have gotten.
But then also, just like Mopal mentioned, that sometimes it's not her, that she doesn't have direct contact. So somebody, the small businesses are shifting to somebody that is important. And then the somebody important might now bring something that is not really exactly what they want. I've seen situations where people would buy, they want to buy a buyer fully covered, but then it would come as after dress. So situations like that tend to happen. And it's always good to know there is a way to pass.
It's good to see that she started small and now she's big. She now owns a shop.
Yes.
And she has contact with networking. With even people outside the country, and she's making money. Even though losses will still come because it's business. But then, if you're determined, definitely with consistency, you're going to make it one way or the other. Indeed. It doesn't really matter what people would say. Just start your business and see what happens. With this economic hardship, we really need that at this point.
Of course. So, and with that, of course, we have come to the end of Daybreak Extra. We hope that, of course, you took everything that was said, and then you definitely sieve it and pick the one that works for you. Yes, please do stick around. Top of the hour, 360 Sport would be here by Adeni Ajishafe. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Do have a lovely weekend.
And I'm Fatima Ahmed Musa. In case you missed any of these discussions we had today, just catch us across our social media handles.